sort of overly cliquey nature of San Francisco politics and of the District 8 supervisor race. And Bill has pointed out that there would be real benefits to having an outside perspective in City Hall. And I actually have a lot of sympathy with that view. But there is a challenge, right, for the person who's elected. Within a year or two, you become an insider. And so I'm curious, Jeff, on Bill's behalf, if Bill or you have thoughts about how you preserve that independent perspective once you're on the inside.
That's a great question. I don't recall whether Bill ever said anything about the cliquey nature of it. I think that his main complaint was that electing people who are operating within what you might consider a political machine bring to the office a kind of what you might call long coattails, right? And you're electing not just the individual to the office, but you're electing his or her endorsers and the people who have helped him or her reach that position. And I would say that were Bill elected to this office, he did it on his own, and he did it with the help of individuals here in San Francisco, which is where he's gotten every single dime of his funding. So he is off to a good start, in my opinion.
And Rafael, if you want a quick response.
Well, I mean, I've really valued actually having Bill on the campaign trail with us, because I think there is sort of a way in which the perspectives in City Hall get set and become removed and distant from the perspectives of real people and voters. And I think that actually one of the powerful things about district elections is that it does empower another set of voices, people from communities who actually have as much pull with their elected supervisor as anybody else, as a union or a big dollar donor or whoever it is now. So I think that I think it really is, though, a significant challenge to try and maintain that perspective and those connections with the non-special interests.
All right, second choice.
How appropriate. Rafael Mandelman. Mine aren't typed out like yours, Rafi, sorry.
And since we're short on time, if you could just sort of keep your question to 30 seconds or so, that'd be good.
Rafael, you have sent out many mailers that say that you will fight City Hall insiders and and make sure that you will fight for San Franciscans. How can you say that you will fight City Hall insiders when you have 6 members of the Board of Supervisors who are supporting you? How can you say that you are going to fight special interests when you have benefited from hundreds of thousands of dollars from independent expenditures that are making this the most expensive race in this city?
Don't hold back. I think the tagline is not that I'm going to fight, but rather that I'm going to stand up for San Franciscans, not City Hall insiders and corporate lobbyists. I actually like insiders and I like lobbyists. I think they tend to be great people and a lot of fun. But I think that, as sort of my last question alluded to, I think that there is a real challenge because of the influence of, frankly, of money in politics and what it takes to get elected, that the voices that you listen to and the voices that you hear as an elected official, it becomes a narrower and narrower universe. As soon as you arrive on the second floor of City Hall, there is a whole cadre of people hired by folks with a lot of money who have a financial interest in the decisions that get made at City Hall. And they work their way around into everyone on that board and sort of have an expectation of access. And I think that that is a corrupting, problematic thing in our politics. And I walked the walk. The first campaign I worked on 10 years ago was for public financing of elections. Now, this election cycle, we are all taking public financing, and the private money is flooding into this race. And I will continue to try to find ways to limit the influence of private money. That being said, I am proud to have the support of the California Nurses Association, and I am proud to have the support of the San Francisco Labor Council, and I am proud to have the support of the San Francisco Democratic Party. And they know me, and they know that the work that I've done, and they are fighting hard to get me elected, and I'm grateful for their support. I am wary of many of the other forces that are spending a lot of money in this race to see me not elected. Not that I don't like realtors, I do like realtors. I have a lot of realtor friends. And not that I don't like landlords, I have a lot of landlord friends. And not that I don't like the folks at CPMC Sutter, I have a lot of friends there too. But they all have a powerful financial interest in the decisions that are going to get made by the Board of Supervisors over the next 4 years, and they don't want me making those decisions. And I'm proud of that too.
$353,000 cap, $100,000 cap in this race. Every single one of you District 8 voters, interests on behalf of them, will be spending somewhere between $35 to $50 on you to convince you as to why you should vote for them. I don't think government has to be that way. My cell phone number is on my business card. I answer all my own emails. When I get to the second floor of City Hall, everyone is going to have access to me. Whether you're the tenants union, whether you're the small property owners, whether you're the landlord, whether you're the person who just contacted me yesterday from Park Ridge, who's been Ellis active and came to me for help. That's what government should be about. It shouldn't be about buying elections. It should be about electing the best representative for this district. And I still think that's me.
It's pretty automatic, I think. It's me. It's you. It's her. Rebecca.
Clever.
I was never good at math, but I'm not that bad. Rebecca, I want to ask you about traffic calming and your approach to it. There's often a lot of tension that anyone living somewhere wants traffic to be slow because of all the impacts that fast traffic can have. But other people go through neighborhoods and they want to get where they're going quickly. So you're balancing the need to have a flowing traffic system with a need to have neighborhoods that are livable and walkable and where people can have a good life. So what would be your approach to balancing those two needs in terms of traffic calming?
First and foremost, for any traffic calming issue, you need to fill out a form with the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Authority. So the first time that person would call me up, I would tell them, you got to fill out that form and get that in queue. Then I'd go out and go survey the area. I'd go talk to the person who called me, whether it's on Clipper Street or on Market Street or wherever it's going to be, and talk to the person who's saying it should be calm, and then also talk to the person who says there isn't a problem. Then what I would do is I would go through, I did this when I worked for Bevan Duffy, and go house to house, get a list from the assessor's office of all the property owners, and call for a neighborhood meeting. Bring everyone into the room and discuss, do we need bike lanes, do we need sharrows, do we not need anything at all, is there not a problem? And then figure out, after listening to everybody, how to best solve the problem.
All right, Jeffrey, you have a question for Scott, I think.
I was going to ask about independent expenditures, but I think that topic has been covered already. And I won't ask about Scott's choice of orange for his signs.
Brilliance!
You're talking about it.
Precisely. So, I guess I'm going to ask the question that Bill asked you at the last debate here in the same room. Which is, given the city's current budget crisis, given the city's 10% unemployment, given the 20% commercial vacancy rate here in District 8, given the record number of complaints that Bill hears on his own with regard to small business owners trying to open in the city, I would love to hear, Scott, what your ideas are for stimulating business here in San Francisco and in District 8 in particular.
Sure, and I talked about some of this before. I think that reforming the payroll tax is absolutely critical so that we're not punishing businesses for having the gall to grow their payroll above $250,000. We need to particularly as the small businesses, make sure that we're giving them that kind of tax relief, again, in a revenue neutral way, because I don't think we can afford tax cuts right now. We also need to, our permitting process is horrific, and anyone who's ever opened or tried to open or grow a business in this city knows that. It creates an awful lot of costs. It rewards people who hire professionals to help them navigate the process, permit expediters. We see this in the development world a lot, but it happens in permitting generally. We need to make our permitting process much quicker, more efficient, with and remove that barrier for people to actually come into our city and to start creating jobs and create economic vibrancy in the city. So those are just two things that I think will help a lot in moving forward. And I will also say one other thing is we need to provide safe streets in all of our neighborhoods. We have some neighborhoods in this city where it is extra challenging to run a business because of the situation on our streets. When you think of some parts of the Tenderloin or some parts of the southeastern part of the city or in the parts of the Mission, where on top of every other stress that you have in keeping a viable business, you have to worry about what's going on outside your store, what's going to come into your store. So we need to make sure that we are really addressing public safety on our streets and the mental health crisis in the city in a meaningful way, because that's going to help businesses grow.
All right, thank you. So we're going to ask a few questions.